didn't work. Music with Monali. I am Monali. Special video. I'm super excited about this one. So another freebie giveaway on my Patreon was to have somebody choose the first band for my Why Are They Called That series. Maybe that shouldn't be the title. My new series, How Did They Get Their Name? If you have a better name for this series about how bands got their names, let me know below because mine are obviously not working. Okay, so Ronnie won that drawing and he chose Lynyrd Skynyrd. Turn it up. I used to jam to that song when I was 16. Had my first car. It was a hand-me-down Beamer from my parents and cruised around in it. Had the windows down. I think it was like a 97. It was hunter green. I liked it. And I would jam to Lynyrd Skynyrd. I went to school in the country, y'all. Okay. So, did a lot of research on this, and some of you might know the story, some of you might not. It's pretty funny, I think. So, Lynyrd Skynyrd, when they first started out as this high school musicians, these boys in high school, they called themselves the Noble Five. Then they went on to change it to My Backyard. I'm kind of glad they got rid of both of those names. I'm not a fan of either of those. Another fun fact, when I was in a band, we were called Wonderlust. Okay, and the basketball coach at their high school, his name was Forby Lynyrd Skynyrd, like Principal Skinner, like Skinner. And he was also the gym teacher, and he punished two of the band members, this was in the 60s, for letting their hair grow long. So I think that's pretty funny. It's like, no with your hippie hair, shame. And he punished them. Well, the young musicians, eventually they dropped out of high school, and that incident always stuck with them. And so in 1970, the band was calling themselves 1%. I don't know, I doubt that that is a political dig, kind of like we have now, like the 1% and that whole thing with the Wall Street movement, what was that, where they used to protest? Anyway, I don't think it has to do with that. I could be wrong. Maybe it does. And they had a gig at a local club in this town where they were, and it very small. And they called out to the crowd, "Hey, we're Lynyrd Skynyrd." The guy's name, not Lynyrd Skynyrd, but Lynyrd Skynyrd. And we're going to play for y'all tonight. And most of the crowd had some kind of run-in or some kind of experience with this coach, Lynyrd Skynyrd. And so they just like started cheering loud and laughing and all that, and it stuck. So even though they were trying to go as the 1% or 1%, people were calling him Lynyrd Skynyrd because of them saying that. And so they were like, yeah, all right, we'll go with it. And then they wanted to make themselves a little more unique and original. So they changed the spelling to Lynyrd Skynyrd. And that's where that came from. And so I know that that is a very short how they got their name, but I kind of wanted this to be a short series. I didn't want it to be a drawn out thing. And most of the time with band names, they're not. It's some incident that happened or some quirky thing how they got their name. And I'm going to give you 3 more examples of band names that are not named after people in the band. So the first one is Pink Floyd. And that was the bassist, his idea. And it was a mix between bluesman Pink Anderson and bluesman Floyd Council. So then they got Pink Floyd. Interesting. The next one is Hoodie and the Blowfish. I think we all know now that Hoodie, there's no one in the band named Hoodie, that the lead singer is Darius Rucker, who went from pop to country now. And I actually like both. I was surprised. I dig his country. Anyway, and so Darius Rucker went to high school with a kid who would hoot, and I guess it would sound like an owl, or maybe he just looked like an owl. I think it was both, actually. And so he was nicknamed Hoodie, and I guess that stuck with Darius Rucker. And another guy in his high school who would puff his cheeks out really big, and they would call him Blowfish. And so I guess he just thought Hoodie and the Blowfish, those two guys together. I don't know. And the third one, which this I didn't know, and when I told it to my mom, she didn't seem too surprised. She was a little iffy about the origin, but I'll tell you why in a second. So the third one is Alice Cooper. I kind of just always thought his name was Alice Cooper. It's not. His name is actually Vincent Furnier. Fernier. I don't know if it's the French where you don't pronounce the R. Vincent Furnier. I guess that doesn't sound very rock and roll to have a snake and a Vincent is. I guess, yeah. So anyway, he was actually in a band called Earwigs. And then his bandmates and him changed the name to Naz, N-A-Z-Z. It could be Nas, but I don't know. Anyway, but after playing around with a Ouija board one night, they said they got in contact with a spirit named Alice Cooper. And so they changed their names to that. And then when Vincent went solo, he took the name Alice Cooper with him. Now, the reason I said my mom was skeptical of this is because, as we all know, or maybe you don't, I knew because my mom told me, that Alice Cooper was all about the stage, right? I mean, he's a performer. So he didn't do drugs, he didn't do any of that. And he said he would just go home and watch TV and get ideas from that. So he wasn't some sadistic, crazy, gothy, snaky, biting the heads off bats like Ozzy. You know, he wasn't into drugs or anything. He just was like a normal guy that could put on a show. So my mom said that she thinks that maybe this Ouija board story is kind of one of those things. If it is, where did the name Alice Cooper really come from? Will we ever know? So anyway, that is how Lynyrd Skynyrd got their name. And I hope you enjoy this. If you have some suggestions for other bands that you would like me to research how they got their name, put them in the comments below, and then maybe I will do a drawing from that, from the subscriber comments. And thank you for watching Music with Molly. Cheers.